Hey guys, how you doing? It's Rob Lee with Fight for the Frontline Foundation. I kind of wanted to introduce myself, tell you what our mission's about, and go from there. What are you going to have to look forward to in Fight for the Frontline? We have a podcast coming out. We had Jeff Messina just the other day. It's in editing right now. We have podcasts. We want to put out instructionals as well. We want to go to gyms and like do impromptu videos as well. So it's not going to be just a podcast. So let me introduce myself. My name is Robert Lee. I'm a second degree black belt. I got my black belt from Carlson Gracie Jr., Chad Robichaux, and was honored enough to have Jared Chafee wrap the belt around me. So that was a big honor for me. Um, I did 20 years in the Coast Guard. I was in aviation. I was an AMT. I had missions. I started off with search and rescue. I ended up going to Clearwater and doing OPBAT, which is Operations Bahamas, Antilles, Turks and Caicos, where we did drug interdictions and migrant smugglings, and from time to time a little bit of search and rescue. Mainly it was a law enforcement mission out there. Went to Air Station Houston, went through search and rescue again, and then also airborne use of force, AUF program, where I went to precision marksmanship school in Fort Polk. Very, very cool. So I had 20 years, retired in 2019, had a great time, loved my military career. My jujitsu, I probably have um, almost the entire almost the entire career doing jujitsu. I think it was like my second year, third year, possibly, where I found jujitsu. Right, I owe that to a guy named John Gibo, who got me introduced to jujitsu, and my first professor was David Vieira. So I had a really good time. I actually got to spend some time with Chad Robichaux, Alex Morano, Raymond Bell. We went and trained in Brazil with David Vieira. We spent some time there and had a good time. So, what is our mission? Our mission is to pay for jujitsu memberships for law enforcement officers and veterans, right? So, why law enforcement officers? Tip When we started this, it was going to be primarily veterans, right? And let me get on a little side note with that is that there is other veteran jujitsu nonprofit organizations, right? We're a 501(c). Um, there's a big one out there, and I believe that we complement them very well, right? They're a great organization. We've utilized them at one point. They have stipulations on their memberships, right? You have to be 80% or higher disabled, and you have to be a combat vet. We decided to pick up where they left off, right? And we complement them by taking a little bit broader approach. And what we're going to be doing is you don't need to have a certain amount of time in the military. You don't have to have any disability. If you want to participate in jujitsu and you're having troubles transitioning into civilian life, maybe you have some PTSD, some issues going on, underlying issues, I would seek out a jujitsu gym immediately, right? And then I've seen also the impact it makes on all these veterans that come in. You know, I've seen veterans come in that are just, man, it's dark. There's a dark aura around them. And then next thing you know, it's like 2 weeks later, they're just smiling and they're bright, so I've seen the healing process through jujitsu with veterans. And so that kind of leads back to why did we include officers, right? And I believe it's important. There's so many different reasons why we're doing it. Let me give you just a few reasons right now. There's going to be an image across your screen right now. And the reason why was because we saw a need for it, right? We saw that the climate right now through law enforcement officers and civilians were like it's heightened, right? People are scared to get pulled over, and some of the control aspects they use, they're out of, some of them are out of shape and whatnot. And so we found that there's a need for that. And so this is a couple of reasons why. We have real world control. Jiu-Jitsu equips officers with skills to control resisting subjects safely and effectively. Officer safety gains the ability to neutralize threats with leverage and technique, reducing the risk of injury. Legal defensibility is Jiu-Jitsu emphasizes control and restraint, supporting use of force policies and legal standards. Control on the ground. The fight often goes to the ground. Jiu-Jitsu teaches you to stay in control and dominant. Mental toughness builds calm under pressure, sharp decision making, and confidence in high stress situation. Physical fitness, improved strength, endurance, mobility, and overall functional fitness for the job. I'm going to stop there for a second and talk about that one, and we'll go back to the image in a minute. I want to talk about that one in particular because I see not only officers but a lot of like people who really have an interest in jujitsu, but they don't go in, right, or they'll come in, take a look around, or maybe their son or daughter do it, and we ask them, hey, why aren't you doing it? And, give me a month. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna go, running and do some CrossFit and lose some weight for it. And I can tell you right now, there is no other workout that can prepare you for this. The only way to prepare you for jujitsu is through jujitsu. So there's no preparing. So if you're watching this, you have no jujitsu experience, and you think, hey, if I just take some time and lose some weight and do this, is your best option. Just put yourself in jujitsu and go from there because there is nothing like it, right? And so that goes back to the officers. How many times have we seen a video where there's an officer take down someone half their size and they're huffing and puffing for 5 minutes afterwards? Or maybe somebody half their size and it took them 5 minutes and three other officers to get them down, right? Jiu-jitsu offers every technique available to subdue your either opponent or a suspect in a not, where you're not going to hurt yourself and you're not going to hurt them either, right? And so that's why we saw the need. Let's go back to the image real quick. And we're going to go to team trust and camaraderie. Training together builds bonds, trust, and stronger team dynamic. Lifelong development. Jiu-jitsu is a journey of constant learning and personal growth. So we'll talk about that. And then we'll get into why veterans need it as well. So with officers, I can tell you this. My previous business partner, Zach Hunter, great guy. When we were together owning Cross Collar, what we decided was we were going to give 6 different police stations absolutely free jiu-jitsu, right? And what we did, and he was on board. He was immediately like, let's do this, right? A lot of people talk about helping the community, but they just don't dive into it. And we were just like, let's not talk about it, let's be about it. So we called the police stations, local police stations. We told all 6 of them around us, the locals, right? And some of them are actually pretty large. And we told them, hey, free jiu-jitsu. It's a modified membership, right? It's not the full membership, but it's modified where we include tons of mat time for them. And, what we saw was that they would come in and then they would drop off. Unlike some of the veterans that we get veterans and they get in and they see like, oh man, this is bringing me back to the military career with the camaraderie and whatnot. But we're seeing more and more officers dropping off, and I can see why there's some issues with that, right? I can see being an authority figure, right? Being an officer, having a certain amount of presence about you, and then going to a jujitsu gym and then having some 18-year-old phenom just work you over, right? And that can be demoralizing. I can understand that, right? But that's when we need to double down. When you go into those circumstances and you feel like, oh man, well, I had this thought that I was so much more powerful than I obviously am now, like you just found out. That's when you need to double down and say, hey, listen, I need this more than ever. That just taught me that I need this. So what we're seeing is that's not really happening with officers. And so we want to put more awareness out to other gyms and we want to help them out as well, right? So that's why I had some people asking me, why are you not just veterans and why did you add the officers? And I think it's a big reason. Imagine if we can help a certain amount of officers and those officers can help a certain amount of officers, we can really make a difference, right? Let's go back to that image and let's talk about why veterans need jiu-jitsu. And I can speak intelligently on this because I did, 20 years in the military, and I can tell you right now, I did 20 years in the military stress-free because of jiu-jitsu, right? Anytime I was upset, anytime I was mad, you could just take it all on the mats. So let's go through these right here. You have mental health and healing. Jiu-jitsu helps reduce PTSD, anxiety, depression through focus, physical activity, and community. Stress relief. This one's a big one. Training provides healthy outlet to release stress and reset the mind, especially those that have really big issues, getting in their own head. That's a huge one. Brotherhood and belonging. The jiu-jitsu community build bond and reminds veterans they're never alone. A lot of veterans feel like they'll be alone. You come in, you're greeted with a great group of people, go right into training. It's a wonderful thing. Purpose of a mission. In military, you have a mission, you know what your mission is, you know what you're doing, and then you get out, you retire, and you're kind of like, whoa, what am I doing? What do I do? So the purpose of a mission, it gives structure, goals, and sense of purpose beyond the military service. Confidence and self-esteem. Progress on the mat builds confidence that translate to all areas of life. Physical recovery improves mobility, strength, and overall wellness at any age or fitness level. Discipline and resilience reinforces the warrior mindset and builds resilience through challenges. Smoother transition to civilian life provides a supportive environment and a positive outlet during life's next chapter. One mission, one community, one fight. So those are the reasons why we decided that, like, let's not talk about it, let's be about it. Let's do what we can, right? And so I put a personal amount of my own funds, right, to start this. We didn't want to just start it like Tap Out did a while back with the selling DVDs and shirts out of a trunk, right? We wanted to have a presence and start with our best foot forward. So we created a podcast studio. I have lots of branding, and now that everything is built and the structure is built, we have our minutes. We've had meetings. We've done it correctly. We feel like we're ready to hit the go button. Right now, we are paying for some athletes right now. So we have started, but we really want to hit the ground running, and this is our opportunity to do so. So let me show you some of the things. What will happen if you are a veteran and you decide, hey, listen, I need jujitsu. This is for me. And you enter in to become an athlete. So when you become an athlete, we're going to end up giving you a rash guard and a gi to get you started, right? We'll go to your school that is a participating Fight for the Frontline F4 school and get you started right away, right? So what if you're a gym and you're wanting more veterans, you want to help out and help us support, right, together? All you got to do is go to our website, fightforfrontline.org. And what you'll do is you'll hit be a participant, a gym participant, fill out the application. We'll come to your gym. We'll take a look around. We'll ask you a few questions, and then we'll get you part of the Fight for Frontline Foundation. And we're very excited to do so. So let me show you other options that we have, and I'll show you the gi and the rash guard as well. But we're trying to create funds right now so that 100% of all the funds will go back into Fight for the Frontline so we can help as many people. Our goal by the end of the year is to help 100 veterans or police officers. Like I said, we're in our infancy stages right now. We're just beginning, and we want to help as many as we can. So my goal for next year is to double that, right? And then double that over and over and over again as we get funding and you guys understand what we're about. So we have different merchandise that we'll sell and we'll do different, some people they'll do like galas with silent auctions. For me, it's going to be more of a cookout, invite a bunch of people. We'll have a silent auction. We'll tell you what we're about, maybe even do them during seminars and then just go from there. So we have right now, let me stand up. Let me show you what we got. So this is our rash guard that you're going to be getting. So we have the Fight for the Frontline on front and back, or we have the F4 in the front and Fight for the Frontline in the back. We have our American flag on the side and our F4 on the other sleeve, right? So this is a great rash guard, great quality. And then we also have it in long sleeve. So we do have the long sleeve version as well, right? And if you look at behind me, you'll see the mannequin. He's wearing all our gear as well. So we have our Fight for Frontline gi top. So this is our gi top right here. You'll have the American flag on one side and then our F4 patch on the other side. And then in the back, our big logo, right? Members, this is going to be different, and I'm still kind of going and deciding between this. Is that we're going to have a QR code for members right here, so people can put their phones up and kind of get to know who we are. It'll direct you right to our website. So we're deciding whether or not to put it on for people who just want to buy the merch, right? To support, help support. Actually, if you'll do me a favor, make a comment below and tell me, what do you think? Should we add that QR code to the top of that for everyone? Here are the pants. So we have the pants, real nice, good quality. Very, very excited to have these. Also, you'll be getting a belt. So for those that have never trained before, you're going to get a Fight for the Frontline belt. However, if you are, let's say you're a veteran, you have previous training, maybe a colored belt, we're still going to give this to you. And what we want you to do is we want you to give this to your instructor. Tell them, give this for free to the next veteran or law enforcement officer when they sign up, right? That way we can get our, not only our branding out, but it also helps somebody out, save $12 when they're signing up and they have to pay for their belt. So we also have patches. We have the colored patches and we have our subdued patches as well, right? So we have our colored patches. We have the small F4, and then we're going to have the big and small F4 or the Fight for Frontline patches. And we're going to be doing a kit where it'll be all three, right? We have the same thing with our subdued. We're going to have the large and small subdued patches. And then we're going to have the small subdued F4 patch as well. And then again, you can get all of these as a patch kit, right? So we will have that. So we're really excited to get things rocking and rolling. Get out there. We have our YouTube channel, as you're seeing right now. We have a Facebook. We have a website that's already out. We've registered. We are a up and running 501c3. So we're registered not only Texas, but through national. Let's see, we have our Instagram, we have a TikTok, and I believe we have one other one, and we merged it all together, and we're working on that right now. So we're still currently working to make this a well-oiled machine. We want this, and I'm working with other people. I'm working with Adam Rodriguez and Trent Draper, and I have other ones that are helping me as well. I have Ish, right? We call him Izzy. He's helping me as well. So we have a lot of people. Zach Hunter came in and was showing us how to operate a lot of stuff. Rio. We have a lot of people who care about this and really want the mission to grow, and they're willing to donate their time and sweat equity. So we appreciate everybody. If you feel inclined to donate, you can go to fightforfrontline.org, hit the donate button. If you want merch, let us know. We'll get that to you. Like I said, 100% of the profits will go to the Fight for the Frontline to help more people. One last thing is that we did have a donor. They donated physical fitness equipment. And what we're doing with that is we are auctioning that off, and 100% of those profits will go into Fight for the Frontline. So, except for one piece of equipment, we're actually going to find a veteran that is injured or a police officer that's injured and can use an elliptical for their house, and we'll donate that to them, right? So, we're doing whatever it takes at this point. We're doing whatever it takes to make this grow, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening to us. Keep like the YouTube channel, hit subscribe. Lots more to come out. Appreciate you.